Oh.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my session. It's our first time to present like this, so a bit nervous, and B, not very experienced, so we'll do our best. I got two fantastic assistants in Jaylee and Genji who will help me to do the presentation. Let me firstly introduce myself. I'm Ben Gosman, in the industry for over 30 years. From Amsterdam, and the most of my clients are Dutch or from Amsterdam, or at least from Holland. Please turn the slide to me. Yep. Some understanding about the presentation. Please interrupt me. I would like interaction. I'm officially from events, so not from seminars and conventions where I tell you what they want to do, and you may ask at the end only what you actually wanted to know them during the Q&A. I want to with you. I want to respond on you while you respond. Together, we will make this presentation to your expectations by asking. Just let me know what you want to hear from me as we go. I will hook into that. So I got the screen with Q&A right hand side. Please use it via the button downstairs. So when I say that you have to interact with me and create this presentation, that way I make you responsible for the result and the effect of this meeting. So if I do a lousy job, it's actually your fault because you should have told me so. Let's start by asking who is actually in this presentation. I can't see any of you. And there's a discussion forum. I see 2 questions, but don't see much. The live Q&A. Please announce yourself on the live Q&A. Let's see who's there. Not much activity. Well, we just continue. Jaylee, please go to the 3rd slide. Oh, hold on. Yeah, the general info. Okay, we've got a bit strange company. We go off the beaten path. We do the niche. There's less competition and a better and more attractive experience. It's way more fun to work there than on the mainstream. It's my idea. What we want to do is make boys and girls' dreams come true. We do this on FIT and incentive basis. But for the incentive basis, incentives, it's important to know that we only do the fun part. No meetings, no presentations. Our numbers are really small. The average group size is 20 to 30 packs, sometimes even smaller, 10 packs. Then it's almost as FITs as if it's a big family. Our clients we know really well. In average, they work with us for 15 years, or actually we work for them. They choose Freestyle because we really go off the beaten track and we do really special and exclusive experiences. So anything that's mainstream is not that much our business. Our clients are high-end and experienced who have found and love to travel in the most luxurious way, 5-star deluxe, but mainly travel to experience in life. So we will wow them by picking them by Rolls-Royce, because if they travel to London, they will stay in Oriental and they will actually be picked up by a Rolls-Royce. So for them, it's way more fun to come with alternative transfers. And that's standard all. But for instance, the Fiat 500, the very, very, very small Fiat from the 70s and the 80s, a car that they would love to drive, and that's specifically for Rome or any Italian destinations for instance. But tuk rides they love, bike rides they love. Yeah, different kind of experience. We offer the things that they make say, sometimes they're good, sometimes it's a bit strange, sometimes it's a bit not, sometimes it's a bit of a hassle, but it's always big fun. Well, when it gets special, difficult, and even almost impossible count, that's where I like it. That's where my family is triggered, who helps me during the fantastic events and incentives we. Okay, could you go to the next, please? These are the destinations that we use, or the status, or what we've done in the past. Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. We're always interested in developing knowledge, but we are pretty experienced. But 100% we can't know all of these countries, all the special experiences that are possible. The Asian well, we need to develop more. We've seen things, but not experienced. Prior to COVID, we were calling ourselves as an Asian or Asia specialist that wanted to move on more towards to Japan, China, not that much interest, only Hong Kong and Macau, the more western part of China. And India is for us a really amazing destination, but geez, it's so big and there's so many experiences before we can actually call us based on India. Well, it will take us long to become a specialist in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Cambodia, Vietnam together. On for India. So yeah, we are interested. There are fantastic things to do. Yeah, you can discuss possibilities with us. Is there anyone who wants to announce him or herself in the questions? I don't see anything coming up. Okay. Dan is there. Did I get correct in the discussion? Here. Now I'm in the discussion. Okay, I see. And Gen Z. Well, at least there are people listening. It's not for just me and my two lovely assistants in Singapore. Could you turn to next slide, Jelly, please? Yeah. I need to do the same. What we're looking for as an we look for partners and experiences that are absolutely high-end, they're special, they're meaningful, once in a lifetime. These are very special experiences that we're looking for. Meaningful, I will give on the next, I'll give an example of meaningful, which is really special. Therefore, we look for high-end DMCs, high-end hotels and resorts, and new destinations to us are Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. And I expect after COVID that these would be destinations that would be more of interest to us. But yeah, nobody will be next. Very important to is that my clients want from 9 till 5 experiences, but from 5 till 9, they want luxury, comfort, and privacy. They want to stay in their fantastic hotel with air conditioning, super Wi-Fi, and watch BBC and CNN on widescreen TV. Yeah, sorry, the economy will often not be a hotel, but mainly restaurants. Only if arrival will actually eat at the hotel, if at all. Would you turn to next slide, please? There should be more on that one. Just put down all. I think that's the last. Yeah, please go back one. Okay. No, that's for you. That's went in. Okay. But okay. Parties should be competent, reliable. Yes, they should be that. Otherwise, there's no use in talking to each other. At least that. What I want also to see is empathetic, and empathetic for my guest, but as me as a business. If you try to place yourself into me or into your guest or my to see where we can help them best, where we can serve them best. It's number one thing that as an organizer we need to learn. It's we think it's a good it's only works when our client think it's a good idea or logical to work. Proactive, efficient, quick. Proactive, tell me what's new and best as like, oh, that would be for Ben or that would be for Ben's client. Often this is about the same, therefore I can work with clients for that long time. Efficiency and quick, yeah, of course, that's important. Hi, Matt. Welcome in. Visible, be a trusted partner. It's like a lot of partners want to be invisible, which I can understand as an idea. Like if everything runs smooth, you don't need to be inside, but it's trustworthy to my clients that, oh, there he or she is again. She's of it. Is a really important thing that we are looking for. Okay, Jelly, next slide with the T-Rex. Okay, there's also one thing we've done in the past, and it's meaningful. It's an example of the part meaningful, is excavating a T-Rex. The narrative is not only a boy's dream, but also a national, including role participation in. We excavated with Naturalis a T-Rex, later named Trix, after our former queen bee, whose nickname was Trix. And we done some in Wyoming. The costs were €5 million to excavate, and it was partly financed by crowdfunding by the Dutch audience, and partly funded by sponsors as Peter, who you will later on in the picture. Cool Blue, founder of Cool Blue, they make a turnover over $1 billion, 1.5, maybe even 2 billion by now, and only started like 11 years ago. His boy's dream was always about dinosaurs, and now he could help excavate a T-Rex, the largest predator ever. A national known event on the news because of the crowd and the news and on TV. And it was known everywhere by everyone, and he became a key player. And he came to the site to see with his own eyes and be part of the event, part of the excavation, be part of the scientific team to excavate these bones, these parts of this huge skeleton. And more, he could take friends. So there were 10 people. The dream came true, and he was one of the national heroes. He was part of the story. Jaylee, could you go turn to the next slide, please? This is officially the passport that, because of the participation of the royal family, we could arrange. And you can see that its name is Trix. It's 398,000 years old. Was born in Montana, USA. It's a female, and the passport is valid till 23rd of August 2026. Oh, and above that it shows its picture, of course, but also it's 2.5 meters high. It's huge, a monster. Could you turn the slide, Jaylee? how they excavate in the middle of nowhere, with their brush, sometimes with a big machinery, sometimes with old toothbrushes, excavate bones. Lady at the right, big, huge part of the backbone of the dinosaur. You must think of it's millions and tens of millions of year old bones. So sometimes they are preserved well, and sometimes they are very foul and they will actually break. In the middle, you see, and sometimes they have to put plaster in the box to make sure that the bones don't fiberize. It's really amazing to see. Could you next slide? Please. So here at the left-hand side, you see Mr. with a which is in plaster. In the middle, you see one of his friends on the latrine, and at the right-hand side, you see how they put up a tented camp because it was in the middle of nowhere. It was like more than half-day drive to get there. So if you were to drive up and down every day, you will not have time to excavate. So actually the entire scientific team is there, and the scientific team, they sleep in the small tents, and the guests as VIPs, they only sleep in a camper, which we cannot say is 5-star, but great catering, great food, and they flip their own barbecue, and they get all the stories. They were completely overwhelmed by all the scientific information that, and for them it was like really dream come true. The 3 days that they actually participated on location, that cost 200,000 euros on itself, excluding the flights, that's excluding the all the rest. That's only the 3 days scientific research. Just to make an example of what we can do and what for our clients. You turn to the next slide, please. Well, thank you for your attention. I did much of the Q&As, so I'll now go look into them. Yeah, let's start the discussion. Well, I see from Anonymous, what's the budget? Well, it's the most used budget is about $5,000 for the land project. It can go up easily 10, and sometimes 20 and over person for a few nights, depending on the experience, what is brought. For instance, we've done World Cup finals in South Africa. I had more than 200 guests with me. That was during the crisis where we were hit very hard in Europe, and especially in 10 budget for these kind of trips. But when we came to the final, it was no problem to make them pay 10,000 euros and up and down Johannesburg. So yeah, it's different. Yeah, any questions at the moment? Well, live Q&A turned into mirror text. Most recent, current questions. Is there anybody still in here? A question from Rajiv. Rajiv, For us, COVID is a big issue. I don't know if you can see question, so I will repeat. These times of COVID, how do you plan the experience taking the safety measures, and what subs would be followed? Or will the price be lower than before? Well, that's the about these experiences. They're so exclusive. There is no price cut at the moment at all for experiences like this. But to be honest, we don't travel at all at the moment, and we expect only to when things are almost back to normal. We'll never go back to normal, but almost back to normal. At least we can. But for instance, we can fly to the destination for that natural, which are Bhutan, Kura. There we can fly, but we cannot be on the ship. It's like a ship. The people are too close to each other, so half meter would not work in an experience like that. But the Amazons, they do their planting trees and animals, and they have this safety. The distance is proper, but and for Montana it will work. Although to be honest, if you're lifting a big bone, it will weigh like hundreds of kilos, and it must be, and you're probably too close by. So this is needs to be experienced and discussed and researched about. Let's see how this will happen. But COVID at the moment is really. Have I got any other questions? I said hi to Matt already.
Okay, Ben, there's actually like 3 questions for you in the Q&A section.
In the Q&A session. Okay, I'm in the
Yes,
discussion.
all right. There's one by Anonymous, one by Michael Joseph, and another by Anonymous. So maybe you can address all those.
I've got one of Anonymous. Sorry. Okay, I see now. What are the? Can anybody see the question? Do I need to read out loud?
In the Q&A box.
Okay. What are the factors to be considered as luxury travel? How is it different from the experiential travel as we have? Where guests did not stay. I don't understand the first question. What are the factors to be considered as a incentive travel? Well, this experience travel is not really luxury incentive travel. We use high partners. How is it different experiential travel as what you have presented? I guess did not. Well, the experience is so important that it's not important for my clients whether they stay small, we call it events. You tell them that will happen to part of the experience. They will accept anything. It's like will even as you saw PM in Latrine. As long as you announce them to that this is part of the deal, then it's no problem to them. For if we have a barbecue, my Dutch clients are used to their own burgers. They don't need the cook to do the barbecue. It's like we are really hands-on people. I always give the like our prime minister. He comes to office by bike. Amsterdam, it's status to be on a bike because you're actually living down. We are a bit different to a lot of other countries where cars are often the status symbol, and my clients all have a car, a driver, and blah blah. But they are proud that they can travel by bike. Hold on. More questions. info, contact your post, please. Well, I think details are available, but my email address is ben@freestyle.nl. ben@freestyle.nl. Very easy. Don't need to write it down. Hi Ben, are there any special requirements for food for Dutch? No, that's a good question. Our food, or now our guests, love Asian food, especially. We always want to be part of locals. We want to go to restaurants that the locals go to. We don't even have the idea that we should actually eat Dutch food, which is done by the bigger audience when they go to Spain, but not when they travel to Asia. The only thing that we have to be careful with is spice. And that's not spices when you cook, but the pepper and the chilies. These are stuff that Dutch people do have issues. So I sell it in Thailand. We ask for a mild one, and sometimes even really mild. But we do love Thai food, love Indonesian food. We know Indonesian food because we have a lot of Indonesian people living in Holland, or Indonesian people living in Holland. So therefore, very familiar with cuisine. We're not that much familiar with the Indian cuisine, where the UK market is very known with. That's the food. And the budget, well, it starts at least $5,000, and that's for the land program. My clients will, all of them, fly by business class, platinum on KLM, once if it still exists next year. Really experienced travelers, and budget is not the main issue. It's all about the experience. As I the example of the T-Rex, it was 20,000 euros. 20,000 euros a person for 3 days excavation, which is more than enough, and that's only 3 nights in the small how do you call it, camper where the guests stayed, and a basic but good catering was being served. So, any more questions? We've got more minutes. When is it time to go to the Netherlands? Well, if to choose, then you should go in April. But April, May, June is fantastic, and September, August, September, fantastic, and midsummer for us in between is a bit crowded. But you know now from after COVID, because now the town is quiet. What is the take of Latin travel post-COVID, as India had a large number of cases? India is a difficult market to us, Rajiv. We would love to develop more to India, but your infections of COVID is a huge number. We will only start traveling when it's been considered safe. And what is safe, we don't know yet. But at this moment, for instance, we don't even discuss traveling with my clients, especially on my side. FIT, very slow. The 27 countries in the EU, we can only travel to one, and that's Sweden. And none of the other countries we can travel to, and outside of Europe is really no. So that's really difficult. But India will be among the list of countries that we do visit, but then it needs to be safe. Tried Filipino food, Vicente. Yes, I've been to the Philippines twice and love the food and love the people and love the country. Only thing that's important brings me to one another item is like Dutch travelers, and especially in this high end, are really spoiled, and they travel only direct flights.